What up? What is up, everybody? This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for joining us on this getting warm Wednesday evening here in Las Vegas. We're recording on Wednesday tonight. We'll get this posted within the next couple of hours, a few hours, maybe even tomorrow morning. But you guys will see this very, very soon because there's a lot of news going on. Funny stuff happening here in the world of boxing. Some fight announcements that we're going to be talking about. Everything from Errol Spence returning to the ring to an additional fight to the Fundora and Thurman undercard, which we're going to be talking about here. Let's see here, Canelo. Let's see what who Canelo's got in mind here for his return to the ring in September, amongst other fight announcements. Of course, we're going to be briefly talking about this whole issue with Shakur Stevenson and being stripped of the WBC Lightweight Championship, and Mauricio Suleiman having a one-on-one interview with Chris Mannix, and boy, did that shit get heated. But we're going to talk about that because he put his foot down. He's there, Mauricio, I'm talking about, to defend his stance on why not only did he strip Shakur of the belt, but also charged him 100K. On top of that, we're going to be talking about a little football, not a lot of football, but this weekend's Super Bowl game with a couple of boxers made an appearance. Holy hell, why not? Let's go ahead and throw that in there because there's plenty to talk about there. All right, so the majority of stuff that we're going to talk about is going to be fight announcements. But before we get to that, I definitely want to toss in our video sponsor here, if I can get the glare right, Health Isol, and that is a tallow-based products. Make sure to give them or check them out online, Health Isol or Health Y Sol. They are tallow-based products and soaps in particular, which is what I use. If you find anything you like on their website, if you do check them out, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get 10% off of your purchase, or follow the affiliate link in the description of this video and you will get the same 10%. Once more, Health Isol tallow-based products. All righty. So let's go ahead and get crack-a-lacking with, man, I'm not even sure where the hell to start because of all the fight announcements here. But you know what? I'm gonna kind of go back and forth here. I'm gonna throw Andrew here a little curveball. Andrew, I want to be talking about this instead of the fight announcements because I know that stuff is pretty big. I want to get what everybody's talking about right now. Get to is this issue with Shakur Stevenson getting the belt stripped from him, the WBC belt in particular, and still, forking up the money that he forked up 100K, 120K, something like that. A lot of people have come to his rescue saying like, yo, that's pretty messed up. And a lot of people have come to even WBC's rescue and saying like, yo, you got here for a reason, homie, with that belt. So, pay your dues. You and I were talking about this, and I like the fact that you coined it a certain way. So without me ruining it, how did you coin this? How did you coin
this? Go ahead, bro. Well, I'm calling it Strip-gate, right? That's that's what we call every conspiracy, it seems like. But no, Miguel, at first I was a little over it when you first sent it to me, right? But then after thinking about it, one, let me start off by saying, don't like Mauricio's excuse so far. He didn't pull out a contract. He didn't give us a pull out the rule book. I thought this was going to be like clear and cut. Hey, WBC rule right here. If you're a champion, you exit division, you go here, blah, blah, blah. Right? Mm-hmm. The fact that what was he? He just said something like, it's not about the money. It's about him not wanting to be the champ. Mm-hmm. But then on the other side, they're saying that he, on Shakur's argument, is that he never said he was ready to not be the champ, right? Meaning, hinting that it was possible he goes back to 135 and defends the title. I don't like that part. I think that's a lie. Mm. I don't believe Shakur when he says he was thinking, well, maybe I stay at 140, maybe I go back. I don't know, man. There's so much money right now at 135, 140, or excuse me, 140, 147 for him. I don't really believe that's honest, right? Does that give an excuse for Suleiman and them to strip him? No, because we've seen Suleiman allow those guys to hold on to the title just a little longer, right?
Mm.
So I don't like that, but I'm also not liking, all right, people, you have to think of the people that are making up these arguments now. You have to look at what their interest is in the sport. When you're talking to people like Andre Ward and you're talking to people like, is it Greg Maddox, his name?
Chris Mannix.
Chris Maddox, yeah. Sorry. When you're talking to people like this, Suleiman needs to realize they're not on his team anymore. And I know Ward's a legend in the sport, but currently right now, Ward is being paid by Zuffa. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Color commentary. Yep.
He needs Zuffa to work. So his interest is in Zuffa. Might be clouding his actual, what he would actually be saying if he wasn't a part of that company. But right now, he needs Zuffa to become number one and everything else to go away so he can keep a job. Chris Maddox works for the Ring. The Ring is attached to Zuffa. The Ring is attached to Rehad. You get what I'm saying, everyone? You, Miguel, and everyone out there. You guys get what I'm saying? Suleiman might want to fucking really start checking who he's giving interviews to. I don't like, they kind of set him up. I didn't like Chris Maddox's fake angry, his fake mad attitude about the whole thing.
You would swear it's his money.
Right. And then Andre giving advice about, the rings, the titles don't make fighters, fighters make the titles. Let's take Andre Ward's career for an example of that great statement right there. That a fighter makes the title doesn't make the fighter. You guys have seen me many times come on this show and talk about Andre Ward being undefeated from the age of 14 to when he retired in the professional sport of boxing. It's a great record, one of the best. You guys have heard me many times talk about him winning the gold medal winner as an underdog. I think he had to fight some 28-year-old Russian when he was going to get the medal. He's 6'1". Andre's only 17, 18 years old. This dude's dead in his prime. You should have heard the guys before the fight started. Oh, this doesn't look good. That's a grown man he's fighting. Ward beats him. They said that was the gold medal win. That was the gold medal match. It's not the final match. Ward meets him right before he goes for the gold. But I guess that was the dude, right? That's the one everyone was gunning for. Ward beat him. So he had all this coming in, dude. But who is he in his first, 8 years of boxing? I'd have to look at the record, but that Kovalev fight's pretty late in his life, right?
Yeah.
Fighting in obscure places. I'm sitting in Oakland, California, his hometown, where his promoter is clowning about the attendance. And that wasn't just one fight, Miguel. It was almost every fight. Joe Guzin had something to say, either about ticket pricing or the attendance itself. Yeah, 8,000 showed up, but it wasn't a sold-out crowd. Not what you would expect from a gold medal winning religious young man. Andre came before his time. Today, Andre'd probably do a lot better in the sports world. Maybe he was a pioneer in bringing that into sports. Who knows? Maybe he's a part of that. You could put him part of that history book. But many times, Joe complained about Joe, what is it? Dan Guzin on. Dan Guzin's the promoter, his brother. Yeah. So to hear Andre say that, he doesn't make the millions of bucks, bro, until he wins the Super 6, right? And he's still really not the man until HBO makes him the man when he goes up and takes on what they are considered, the Terminator? What was it? The Crusher?
The Crusher, yeah.
The Crusher, yeah. All of that was done because he was winning titles. He didn't make the Guzin family any money before that. They were losing money. They were praying. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, well, was he somebody? I'm trying to remember if he was the last American to get a gold medal, or do we have had somebody since? I don't remember if someone else has got it since. But anyway,
Clarissa, of course. You
oh,
got to say
was that was
Clarissa.
afterwards?
Oh
Was
yeah,
that
of
after? Oh,
course,
okay,
of
gotcha,
course.
gotcha.
Yeah, so Andre's the last male American
Oh, okay, okay.
Olympian. Yes, sir. Um, um, Shakur won bronze. We know that. We just got told that
Yeah,
again.
Keyshawn Davis. What did he get? I forgot what he got. Did he?
Did he win? Did he
I don't
medal?
know. I'm trying to remember, but I can't remember right offhand. But anyway,
No,
I
I
was just
don't
trying to
think
think
I didn't.
like how important he should have been for having the gold. I'm talking
Oh
about,
yeah,
or coming into the pro ranks and in a weight class that is, well, maybe at the time wasn't the money weight class that it is now, but it was still pretty crucial. And it wasn't. He didn't start making like the big bucks until he started. Well, he joined the Super Six, and then he started winning belts, and then there was another fucking story, right? But that was where I was trying to get to with that. Is like, for as important as being an American male gold medalist coming out there, he was sure as fuck wasn't making bank as soon as he turned pro. It wasn't until he got the straps that he started bringing in the money.
and undefeated for like the last
Oh
6
yeah.
years coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if Oscar was also undefeated his whole childhood? What that story would be?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so it was just weird hearing Andre say that. Fighters make the titles don't make. It's a lie when you talk about Andre. Andre, one of the gifted, most decorated champions coming into the sport, was truly not doing it until he won those titles. So shame on him for now turning his back on the system that got him where he was. And that's what it is. It's a system. It's not the best system, but it works. And it currently works better than anything else that boxing has. So until we have something to replace 4 titles that can make 4 millionaires have the potential to make $4 million fights, why would we get rid of it? He made $8 million that night. We're really complaining over 120, and I'm not talking like if I had it, but I think I spend a good portion of my check, my bum check, sometimes when I go out. There's been weekends I went out and spent a good amount of my what I brought in that week. If you were to do the math, I might go splurge a little. You know what I mean? I get taxed all the time. I get taxed by the union. I'm not. It's like it's 120,000 of an $8 million purse.
Yeah. So I guess the only part, or the primary part, that I'm a little lost at with this. Oh, by the way, side note, yeah, it looks like he is the last American male to win an Olympic medal, because or gold medal, because Richard Torres got silver, Keyshawn Davis got silver, Shakur Stevenson got silver. But anyway, so where I was the part that was kind of confused is I was under the impression. Well, first off, a lot of people are talking about him, Shakur Stevenson, getting charged or whatever, stripped, because of this fight with Teofimo when the WBC belt was not even up for grabs at all. I'm not sure if that was the case or not. I thought it was like talking about something before, maybe his last title defense when it was for the WBC belt against Cepeda. So when the money comes, or when the request comes in, I'm thinking, okay, it's my understanding that either he pays the fee or he gets stripped. Not both, but here he gets both for whatever the fuck reason. So I'm assuming the fee was, hey, yo, or from what I understand, at least, it seems, hey, your fee from, your title defense against Cepeda, your purse against Cepeda, still hasn't been paid. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then in a completely unrelated matter, he strips them because it's like, yo, well, you're not going to come back to 135. So maybe they're not related at all, and it just so happens that they happen to happen back to back. I don't know. That's my best guess, and this is me trying to see from the WBC side, like, yo, this was a past due shit. You should have paid it back here. Oh, you're not going to come back to 135? Well, then give us the belt then. Fuck it. So that almost was already due. The 100K or the 120K, whatever. And then the stripping of the belt came later because I think he saw what we saw in Shakur and that he's not coming back to 135. But that's my best guess. That's the only way I can make. Yeah.
Can we at least agree right now that it does seem like it was a power move on Suleiman's side until because what I don't like, Miguel, is he already had the platform to tell us what we've been saying. We gave him 2 outs. Say it was because he's not coming back. Say it was because he didn't pay a past bill. Show us why. Show us the rule book on why you're doing this. And he comes back with, well, it's not me, it's him.
Right. Yeah, it's not about the money. No, it sounds exactly like it's about the money. It's funny, there's an exact figure on there because he did kind of clap back at Mannix about that. Like, well, it's not about the money. Chris is like, what? What are you talking about? That's kind of a lot, yo. I mean, even if the amount wasn't necessarily humongous, it's the portion is the bottom line is that he fucking owes that money and he's trying to get it out of Shakur, got it out of Shakur. So I don't know. That's the part that kind of confused me. I thought it was one or the other, but if I look at it, try to look at it objectively, and it's like, well, maybe these two aren't related. These two events aren't related. The 120K was because he didn't pay it from the Cepeda fight, and the stripping happened because we saw he saw what we saw and he wasn't coming back to 135. That's my best guess. Maybe they're not related, but realistically, when you said bring out the rule book and show us where it says you got to strip him by this point, he could have waited on the stripping of the belt. That part, the feed doesn't seem so much as a power move than the stripping part. The stripping part definitely sounds like it's like, oh, let me go ahead and push my weight around.
Especially if you go off of the manager of Shakur that was in the podcast with Andre and Roy. He says that Suleiman brings up Crawford's name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. That's what I don't like about this whole thing. Look, I'm on the side of the sanctioning body still. Like I said, you guys, I know it's not the best thing, but it's the best thing we have right now. And I know that's been said many times, but it is absolutely true for this situation currently in boxing. Until Zuffa catches up with their ranking system, until their takeover, I guess, happens, even though it's never going to happen to what? We already know that if Zuffa has their way, there is no Canelo paydays. There is no AJ paydays, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I can't say they're going to get there. I can't be on that side until I see what Zuffa's really about. I can't be. We'll see what happens when they start signing. Who was the fight they wanted to sign? Tyson Fury. Let's see what they give. Let's see what they give Fury in his 2-fight deal, and then we can make a better.
So Fury's not fighting for 750K. No.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean, bro? Like if they drop 25, 30 grand for each fight on Fury, then we know they're trying to be serious ball players, and maybe a fighter with the potential that could make Canelo's money will still make Canelo's money under Zuffa, because obviously there's a lot of money to be made, right? People are still doing it in boxing. Zuffa's just trying they're trying something from a whole nother sport here. So I'm with the sanctioning bodies. I'm with the rankings. I'm with the multiple titles. I wish they'd take the interim titles out. I said that before.
And the silver ones and the supers and all of that.
Yeah.
And not just the WBC, mind you. The WBA's, with their super and their regular champion, and then the WBC with their franchise bullshit. So that part totally makes sense. They should get rid of those because it just makes things murky as fuck. If a dude's the number one contender, then give him a medal or whatever. Don't actually give him a silver belt or some bullshit like that, because now it looks like the dude's a legit champ. The general public isn't going to know the difference, which I assume is the point. They're trying to make it look like the general public won't get it. They just see a belt and the guy's like, oh, he must be something.
Yeah. No. So it's going to get interesting. I don't like how they're turning against him, but he's not giving me a lot to work with on his defense, And bringing up Crawford's name should have been the last thing he did. He should have known that man was going to run to the media with that. Right? Like, he basically stripped us. And yeah, he's saying, why was Crawford in the room or something like that? Why was he at the, like, that sort of sounds like it was a power. It was out of revenge,
Mm-hmm.
I hope he has a better excuse next week when we talk about this. It might be the last time, you guys, because I am tired of.
You over it?
I'm over Strip-gate, dude. I'm over all these guys that are making millions of dollars complaining about a few $100 grand they have to give back to a company that made them what they are. Once again, Andre, I got to look at your career and go, nah, bro, the title made you, dude. You don't make 16 million with Rock Nation if you don't beat the Super Six, if you don't beat Kovalev. If you stay fighting at the Caribbean, Dan Guzin's still talking shit about you. Rest in peace. But he still would be. That's all there is to it. You would still be fighting for money in the courts. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's reasons why you guys are fighting for money sometimes, because the the pot isn't as big as we thought it was going to be when you first go in, right? And so now you want every fucking receipt to make sure you're not getting jobbed. When sometimes, like Oscar's proven sometimes in his court cases, no, look, that's all you guys made. We've heard them come out and say that. It's real nice to say, oh, this is what we signed for the fight. This is what they signed for the fight. But then when the real numbers come out, sometimes you're not making what the hell it says on that contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oscar has said it. You got to wait until the numbers come. We're doing the best we can. Guaranteed money, totally different thing. But all those percentages and all this is what he could make. Get out of here. Get out of here. So no, it's I hope Suleiman comes back with a freaking better excuse than what he gave us this week. I didn't like it, but I'm not trying to hear a bunch of guys that are working for a company that's working against Suleiman as the advice seekers, or looking for them to get the advice from. No way.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he should be much more careful with who he allows to conduct interviews, because we know Zuffa's purpose. They want to come in and do one belt or two at the most with the ring and their Zuffa belt. So anything they can do to make the sanctioning bodies look worse, because I mean the sanctioning bodies do quite a bang up job on their own to make themselves look bad sometimes with shit like this, right? I suspect that's one of the reasons why Suleiman doesn't want to bring receipts, because then it's gonna be like, oh, well, what happened to Charlo? How did you let that motherfucker hold on to the belt for as long as he did? Or Floyd, or anybody else for that matter, De La Hoya at 154. It's like, well, he's probably gonna have no answer to that. What? Oh, they paid us again. They paid us more. Oh, okay. So they paid you more money so you can keep the belt for much longer without a defense or some shit like that, right? So I assume that's why he doesn't want to go that direction, because it's gonna look bad. But if you're gonna, I say just do what that fucking chick at the Epstein's trial is like. I plead the fifth, homie. I plead the fifth. I forgot her name.
Maxwell. Yeah.
Just get fucking Dave Chappelle. Plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Don't give interviews anymore. So fuck that, because it's making it look worse than maybe you have 100%. You're right. You're in the right. Maybe you're 100% in the right. But these excuses of like the fact that he brought up Crawford's name. Oh man, I mean, it was already bad enough that Shakur went to social media and said, just because I'm cool with fucking Crawford, and then he brings up his name in the damn thing. It's like, oh geez, well there it is. Like we don't even have to look any deeper. It's just making it look a lot worse at a time where they kind of need to look like off the hook compared to what Zuffa's trying to do.
Right.
But it was funny that Strip-gate. That's a good one. When you talked about that, I was like, oh, that's just good. We got to make sure to add that to the title. Gosh. All right. So let me see here. Right, because there's so many damn fight announcements, I might have to get to that afterwards. But let's talk about the Super Bowl. I know everybody is kind of getting over the Super Bowl. I don't know, hangover, I guess I'd call it. You mentioned it last week there on Sunday that there just doesn't seem to be enough excitement or hype behind this particular year. And, all the political crap in regards to the halftime show and everything else, right? So I'm like, whatever, I'll tune in. Yeah, because, I got nothing else to do on a Sunday. And who do I see in the halftime show with Bad Bunny? None other than 154-pound unified 154-pound champ Xander Zayas and Emiliano Vargas. I don't know what belt he has. I don't think he has any belts, but regardless, a young Puerto Rican in Zayas, and then a Mexican American, or quite frankly, according to the comments, American, just straight out, right? All right, and then he even posted, right? Emiliano went to social media and posted like the first Mexican on the 50-yard line or whatever the fuck he said, right? And all the comments are like, "What part of Mexico are you from?" Like they're calling him out. But to some degree, I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." I mean, I don't think people realize these guys were actual boxers unless you're obviously a fan of the sport. It's cool to get the exposure, but if you don't really know who the fuck these guys are actually, I'm not sure how much that helped. But what did you think when you saw them? I'm assuming you saw the halftime show, or at least the clip. What did you think when you saw their faces show up?
The fact that half of the audience turned the thing off is not a good not a good look for the two. But I like your point. If you don't know their names, what's the point of seeing them on there, right? So shout out to everyone that knew the two. There's your boys.
Yeah, right.
They're like, hey, that's our guy. That's our guy. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, very should have
That's
come out.
I imagine the Leonardo DiCaprio like memes like, and it's like here comes his Stephen, right? Like this is my boys right here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. That I guess Bad Bunny's a real big boxing fan because he had Ryan Garcia in a video one time too. Yeah, Garcia. I guess now we know where Garcia's love for men came. No, I'm just fucking playing. I'm just playing.
He was groomed. No, he's so young.
He was at the Diddy party. I fucking told
He
not.
got the invite.
So Bad Bunny likes boxers. It seems like that's cool. The Super Bowl was boring. The commercials were boring. It looks like the ratings. Look, I'm telling you, Miguel, Roger Goodell, I think he's going to be fired here soon. All his woke pushes in the league, just people are not responding to it. I mean, we seen the Super Bowl halftime show didn't get anywhere near the exposure they were saying it did in the beginning. Now the ratings came out and seeing half the damn audience damn near turned the thing off. We're talking over 20 million people, dude, turned off the TV. That's huge when you're talking about ratings and commercials and those guys that look at those numbers. And the overall Super Bowl was down. So in America, might have been big globally because, like they said, it was the first time everywhere in the world got to watch it. So that's why those numbers are big. But what did the United States market do? Which is the most important one because of our money, right? These are the guys that are paying for those commercials. Because when you get the feed in another country, they don't have commercials sometimes. It just shows the NFL logo, right? As a man who had to watch many Raider games out of, what is it, Germany? we were always blacked out, bro. So you either had to listen to them on the radio or you get on the internet and try to find an illegal stream of the Raider game back when they would get blacked out in Oakland. Do you know about that?
No.
If you don't have a sellout by Thursday, you would get blacked out in Oakland. No local TV for any of the local fans, bro, because you guys didn't sell out the game.
Do you hear that WWE is going to try to do that now?
Oh,
have you heard that? Yeah,
no.
Like the bars, like the closed circuit, I guess, whatever the hell closed circuit be for bars, stuff like that. They're not going to do that if it's within 50 miles of the event. They're going to try to do that for like WrestleMania or some shit like that. I forgot what it was, but something crazy like you can order it at home, you can watch it at home, you can invite people over, you can go to the event, but you can't go somewhere public if it's within like 50. I forgot the specific mileage, but within a certain radius of where the event is taking place. They're not going to have it at bars and shit like that, and WWE is going to try to implement that. So
that's what it was for us, dude. Because our family in the Valley, they would get to watch the Raider games, and that's like 50 miles, over 50 miles away. So yeah, it's like a 50-mile radius. You're absolutely right on that. Yeah, so it sucked, dude. But that's how I know that you don't see the commercials.
Right? Oh, I see. Yeah, you got their feed.
You get their feed. It's just the NFL logo. That's all. Then it goes back to the game. Or not even an NFL logo. Yeah, it'd be like a Raider logo. No, because they weren't affiliated with the NFL. So it wouldn't even be NFL. It would just be the Raiders. Al Davis used to sell the rights to his TV for the Raiders to everyone that didn't have a contract with the NFL.
Oh, shit.
Tell me that didn't piss off bosses.
Damn.
You gonna do backdoor deals, eh? Fucking rest in peace, Al. Not a rest in peace today.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, funny you mentioned that. The dude from Dawson's Creek passed away today too.
I've seen that.
Yeah, he was battling some sort of I don't know if it was a prostate cancer or something serious along the lines. But yeah, no kidding, huh? I just pulled up a quick article here. It says Las Vegas bars reportedly blocked from airing WWE WrestleMania 42. And it talked about that. It says the issue is set to stem from a newly implemented protocol that restricts commercial broadcasts within a 50-mile radius of the event location. So yeah, they're doing that bullshit. It's funny that it's happening to WWE now. It's funny when you mentioned Ryan. Like, no wonder Ryan is into dudes. Like during the Bad Bunny performance, there's like two dudes grinding against one another. It's like, I see.
And they're saying the NFL might fine them for that.
Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
For the dance moves that they were performing. It's either
Uh,
it just came on my feed. It's either the NFL or the TV. I don't know which one, but something he might get
uh,
a $10 million loss fine for that, right? Because the
wow.
NFL guys can't do certain dances, right? It's a no fun league. That's what they say NFL stands for now.
Yeah,
No
I've heard of
fun
that.
league. So and you
Uh,
and you did you see the video of Roger looking up at the
yes. Yeah. And then the look on his face.
did you
Mhm.
see the girl in front of him?
No, no, I just saw his
Ah,
face.
all of you guys are missing it. My wife caught it. I didn't catch it. My wife caught it. She said, "Look at the girl in front, bro." She shakes her head. She goes,
Oh,
she looks
damn.
at, she looks down at the grass and just gives Roger like, "You fucking blew this." Are
Yeesh.
they really twerking and humping each other on the field right now?
Have you seen that funny skit from Key and Peele? I don't know if you ever watched that, but basically it's the football player who does like the hip thrust, and the referee like blows a whistle, and he does it like 2 or 3 times,
Yeah,
and then
yes,
like right, the referee eventually like he pretends to do it, and then the referee comes in like right next to his crotch, and he's like, and then he does that, and like flag, like one of those kind of things. Oh
yes.
gosh.
That's where that comes from, bro. Yeah, the no fun league.
Oh Lord. Well, another boxer made an appearance during the Super Bowl, Mike Tyson, in a very, very heartfelt commercial, right? Talking about the slop, I should say, that we eat during some of these Super Bowl parties or just weekends and for the average American. Um, and even going as far as to say that his sister passed away at a very young age of obesity, and he himself was overweight at some point, just eating the crap that we eat, and coming out and basically saying like, "Yo, think about the stuff that you put in your body because in the long run it's going to do you harm, or not even in the long run, maybe like even short, right? If you overdo it." But yeah, I saw that and I was like, "Oh shit!" That kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, right off the bat, I was like, "Yo, this is the worst time to fucking put this thing on here because everybody's going to be eating, drinking beer and eating a whole bunch of hot dogs and stuff like that." But I mean, really, when else are you going to do it, right? That's the time that it's going to get the most. And with everything that's happened recently with the food pyramid being flipped upside down and stuff like that, right? Which I kind of already knew ahead of time. It was pretty cool. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of tight because for years there's been a lot of foods that have been demonized, like red meat and dairy and stuff like that. But the fact that they flipped that around was kind of tight. But anyway, I
Yeah.
saw Mike Tyson. I was like, oh shit, another fucking boxer makes an appearance at the Super Bowl. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a yeah, it was a good day for boxers because on my side, I seen they gave Tyson the most impactful commercial of the Super
Mm,
Bowl was Mike. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then with Bunny bringing in Vargas and Zayas,
yeah.
that was cool. But you hella knocked that down by saying they still don't know their names. I'm like, that damn, damn, that's true. They
Yeah.
still don't know his
And
name.
did they even, because they were just basically just that's right, and it's
Yes,
like, all right, 30
yes.
seconds, no biggie. Maybe I missed it. Did they have their names on their trunks or anything to at least been like, oh, who the fuck is these guys? Because I like, for example, I watched the intro to Showtime Championship Boxing, and it's got these like buff dudes throwing punches and shit like that, and they look totally out of fucking place because they don't know how to throw a punch for shit, but they're bodybuilder looking types, and they play the role of the boxer during the Showtime intro. But these guys, obviously, they're much thinner and much more svelte, so they look, like boxers. So it's like, oh shit, they actually have legit boxers portraying boxers, but no name on them or anything to at
Yeah.
least give them some sort of notoriety. They're just basically two extras who box.
Yeah, no, no doubt. At that point, they're only extras. Yeah, it could have been a shout out. Maybe Bunny was giving a shout out to just the Latins. The
Mhm.
Latin people that follow boxing. Maybe that was for us. Or them, however you want to call it. Because I know they kind of set me straight with the Emiliano comment section when he put that out there. So maybe just them. Sorry, guys. I'm American,
Right.
but nah. It's but I don't know if that's the whole thing about why people weren't dancing is because there wasn't too much that was connecting there, and that's one of the things that you can point at to go, yeah, everyone missed that.
Mhm.
Like there's only a certain group of people that probably noticed that, you know what I mean, and acknowledged it. Everyone else is like, oh, those are mighty fit dancers. Wow, those
Right.
dancers are in shape.
Like those guys, they really take dancing seriously. Look at those guys. They even put on the shorts and look at how great they look throwing these punches. Like, yeah, these guys know a thing or two about throwing a punch. But that was kind of tight. I mean, even though, like I said, nobody really knows their name, but it's kind of cool that they had some sort of exposure, right? Maybe people will recognize them now from here on out. The next time, because they're going to be fighting. Well, I guess Xander just fought, but Emiliano is going to be fighting here in the near future. I think it's going to be on the undercard of Navarrete's next fight. I want to say I forgot when exactly, but he's scheduled. He's got a fight coming up. So it sucks that ESPN, Top Rank isn't with ESPN anymore, so we're gonna have to look for him to remember who the hell he is. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool that they throw those guys in there. Kind of sucked that the Super Bowl game wasn't all that great, huh? Considering it's like you said, the first game that they're going to show globally, and then as it being pretty one-sided, it kind of turned out to be a bit of a dud.
Yeah, no doubt. The New England Patriots, I guess, were blessed with the easiest schedule of all time. And it really showed up in the Super Bowl. I mean, the young man just seemed the quarterback. He was in over his head. Their offensive line got manhandled by Seattle. Mm-hmm. I did bring up the fact that Seattle is very comfortable in Santa Clara. I thought that would be an advantage for them. I don't know. It's just, you got to believe their wide receivers already know where to break. Their running backs know where, they just have their gaps already. They play there freaking every year. That's a second home to these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, so New England was going up against a hill right there from the very beginning, but it did seem like the easy schedule finally caught up to them. You got to remember, Denver lost a quarterback, a game, in the playoffs. I forgot what game it was, but it was in the playoffs. They have to go to the next round with no starting quarterback. That's very hard to win that game. You know what I mean? So New England might never have gotten past that. You know what I mean? We'll just never know. But the quarterback broke his ankle or whatnot. So, and then we had the Bills with the bad call. I don't know if you know that one, but there was a viral.
It rings a bell.
Right? That catch that wasn't a catch, because the NFL loves to keep us fucking confused on what's a catch. That's how they play the game. You know what I mean? We don't literally, Miguel. You're at football right now. You kind of just like freeze. All right, let's wait until the refs say it. Yeah, you literally have to wait. In soccer, the guy kicks a goal. The whole crowd don't go, oh, wait, is there a flag? Is someone going to stay? They just cheer. The guy runs to the corner, sliding, they cheer. In football, I swear to God, there's like a pause now, because you got to check the field. You got to make sure there's no replay. Like, it's just so bullshit, dude. Like, did he catch it? Was his toe down? Did he make a football-like move? Football. Gambling, dude. That's all I can say.
Damn. Well, here's to next year. Let's see how far the Raiders get next year.
Did you see about the holding play? Now look, I'm gonna say that it did seem like it was a holding to me, but I guess that holding down back at the end was for the over, and 70% of the bettors bet on the under. Mm-hmm. Coincidence? Maybe the sports gods just like this casinos on that day, and they're like, we'll bless you with the 70% win.
Right. It's like, you guys don't have, the Super Bowl in town, so let's go ahead and bless you guys with some extra money. Make sure you guys don't lose out this time around.
I wonder if it's like a buzzer in the ear, or it's like the running back's running, someone's like, no. Sorry, am I screaming, bro?
Just a touch.
Sorry, dude. I know. I always get told that. My bad. Someone came out of the office.
As long as we get the joke.
Someone came out of the office that I was working in and was like, tone it down. I was like, I didn't even know you're here. Fuck. My bad.
What were you talking about, football or boxing? They got you all right up. Or do you get equally as excited for like HVAC shit? It's like, oh, I was filling up that fucking Freon. You best believe I was opening that shit. Like that shit? Like, do you get equally excited for that?
It might have been.
It could be.
Yeah. I don't try to be loud. I think it's my ears. I got bad ears.
Let's go ahead and blame it on the ears. Fuck it. Why not? Oh my. All right. So there was a boatload of fight announcements. And as a matter of fact, one isn't even, actually, let me retract that. Two of them are not official by any stretch, but let's go ahead and start with those two, because those are the ones that are probably the highest ones, I guess, the more high profile. Supposedly Canelo in September, right? We have the Mexico versus the world. That seems to be the end thing. Well, let's go ahead and pop up my couple of screenshots here and see what it says. All right, World Boxing News on Facebook says reports suggest that this will be Mexico versus the world will be headlined what hold on. Oh, will be the headline for Canelo September fight return in Saudi Arabia. Canelo will challenge Christian Mbili for the WBC super middleweight title on September 12th. All right. So, of course, this is just reports, right? As of right now, nothing is signed. As a matter of fact, Canelo just had a one-on-one interview with Rick Reno, and I don't remember him mentioning anything like that. Maybe he did, and I missed it. But again, I can only take so much of Rick Reno, so I'm like, all right, let's just get to the good parts. So, apparently, this seems to be the case. It looks like and Billy, who's kind of been waiting for his chance for a hot minute. He was, I think, the interim champion for a little bit, or like the mandatory for a hot minute, and he never got his crack at Canelo. Meanwhile, Canelo was over here defending against Munguia, I think it was, and Berlanga later on. And finally, now that Canelo lost the belts and the belts have kind of scattered, he is, and Billy is now the WBC champ now that Crawford has retired and relinquished all the championships, and he's the man now, right? So I remember Canelo saying, I don't really care about collecting belts anymore. I've already done it, yada yada yada. And then I do remember him specifically saying this on the Rick Reno interview that his next bout is going to be for a championship. And then I see this, and I'm like, oh well, here we go, just connecting the dots, right? Clearly, this is going to be it. So it appears as though when we get his comeback in September, it's going to be to fight for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship against the current champion Christian Mbili in Saudi Arabia, according to this report here. I don't know if I like that. I mean, I guess that's part of whatever deal he's got with Turkey Al Sheikh, that he's got maybe a few more fights to go over there. What I remember is he was going to do 4 fights with Turkey. He's done 2 so far. If I'm keeping count correctly, he's got 2 more. Maybe one of those was like, all right, the deal. One of them is going to be here in Saudi Arabia. The next one can be in Mexico or Vegas or wherever the fuck you want. But okay, Andrew, when you heard about this, when you read about this, what came to mind for what did you think? Oh shit, and Billy in Saudi Arabia? Okay,
it's a good fight. Don't know why Canelo's going for a belt. It seems like it's a good buy fight more than it is a comeback for me.
A good what fight?
A good buy fight.
Oh, goodbye. Gotcha.
Yes.
I thought you meant like a good buy fight. I was like, what's a buy fight?
No, like I don't feel like Canelo's gonna do another run. So why start with this whole title thing unless this is just like one more time to lift it up, maybe get a going away, what do you say, retirement fight for Mexico or something like that. But do you really think he's going for undisputed again, or
no way? He's gonna go around. Who's gonna Resendiz is another champion. He's not gonna fight him. Chances are he's not gonna fight him. I'm trying to think of some of the champions right offhand, but no, I don't think he's gonna go around collecting the belts the way he did the first time.
That would be a better ending if he had to give one to Turkey and Resendiz beats Munguia. That's a good way for Canelo to keep the ball rolling for the people, right? I like that fight,
and maybe even a way of passing the torch, almost, huh?
That's what I'm saying. Oh, that's exactly what I mean by there, bro. That if Canelo had to give one to Turkey, right? I would do that before I give it to Shiraz, and I think that's what Turkey wants. I think his game plan is to get Canelo a title, get Shiraz a title, and then have them unify in Saudi Arabia Riyadh season, and he's going to be praying that Shiraz wins that fight, and then he can let Canelo go. That would be his 4th fight. So I think that's more of his game plan, but I would like Canelo to I know he won't, because obviously the guy already gave him the contract. He gets to call the fights. But Resendiz is a better game plan for Mexican boxing, at least. That would clearly put him as the new guy at the super middleweight division, especially with the win over Munguia.
Yeah, imagine that. He beats, let's just say, he beat Plant already, but then Munguia afterwards, and then Canelo or Billy or whoever. I mean, huh?
And gets 2 titles.
Oh yeah, Damn. That's
when it rains, it pours,
right.
Miguel.
Right. 2 titles, guys. 2 titles. Once again, back to that 2 belts. Remember that. Let's not forget about that shit. But we got, because I know Resendiz listens to our show. Here's your game plan, homie. This is your game plan. Follow the fucking the route that we're following here.
That's what we need to do to put these guys on the spot. One of you media members, you guys won't. Maybe we're not media. We'll just fucking set some fires. We got to go. You guys have to show us someone do it without a title. It's the only way we're going to believe them. So pick one of your new prospects coming up and tell him he's never going to fight for a title.
Okay.
Andre, to everyone that says titles don't make the fighter, let's see it. You got to prove it. You can't just walk around. What I hate is
give me an example if it's already happened. If it already has happened, tell me who.
That's what I hate about this whole thing. Everyone that keeps saying the titles don't mean shit are guys that have hella titles and money behind them.
Right.
It's like you're saying it now. Andre, you weren't saying that when you were fighting for pennies. You know what I mean? When you were bitching in the courtrooms about being robbed. You weren't back then going, but guess what? I ain't never fighting for WC. Ain't robbing me. Come on. So until they have to find something. Tell Keyshawn he's never fighting for another title. Let's see if Keyshawn becomes Floyd.
Right.
Or go sign with Zuffa. Or go sign with Zuffa and see how that works out. We might have to give a career to Zuffa and see what they could do with it, bro. And it can't be Opatai. He's not the cruiserweight's not the guy I'm gunning for.
No. And plus, he's already technically the #1 dude with the ring belt. Let's go and he has an IBF belt. Let's have a guy who doesn't have a belt at whatever weight class. Start from scratch. Maybe that is what they're trying to do with Kellen, or with what's his name, Walsh, with the Walsh kid. Is that Kellen? I always forget his first name.
But now it's Crawford, Shakur, and Ward to have the issue. So they got to show us one of their youngsters, bro. You got to hand them over to Zuffa and show me you can make Floyd money. Show me you can make Andre Ward money with Jay-Z, 16 million. You don't even have to be Floyd. Make 16 million in one night. Then I'll believe you. But right now you sound like a brat. You sound like a guy that had it all, and now you didn't need any of that to be. Well, I didn't need daddy's money. Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, you did. If we look at your career, oh, yes, you did need daddy's money. And that's the belts, you guys. It's that's what I mean for you slow ones.
Yeah.
Like how Andre said, for the guys in the back. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I swear to God, like you, bro, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I'll throw your career in your face so fucking fast. So fucking fast. Golden Boy came out making millions, bro. Why didn't you? What made you millions of dollars?
Yeah. All those things that you have in framed behind you, in big old fucking frames, those right there.
I think you look like the man when the Ring magazine had you in the corner and that Muhammad Ali trophy was behind you and the 2 or 3 titles were on the ring. You remember that Fighter of the Year picture, Andre? You remember that shit, Andre? Man, those things look tight there.
Right.
Come on. I like on. He's my guy. He's still my guy, but you're bullshit. You're foggy right now.
You can't always agree with him. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It would be bad if you agree with every single fucking thing he did. He can still be your guy and still disagree with him. What do you make of this of Billy and fucking Canelo being in Saudi Arabia? Like, what? Really? I mean, he owes Turkey or something?
Yes, that was always the plan, was to make Saudi Arabia a tourist attraction. Yeah. He's one of the biggest athletes in the world, so they got to bring him out there and see how it goes. They only have 2 fights left. I honestly don't see Canelo doing this for a lot longer. It seems like we're at the end with Canelo, in and out of the ring. He just seems like he's more of the mentor now in boxing than he is the fighter. You know what I'm saying? And so I see him working this contract out and then probably stepping away. I just hope he gets to do it in his own terms and doesn't have to take on Shiraz in Saudi Arabia. Everything's going to be against him. He'll be down on the scorecards when they're announcing the fight. That kind of shit.
Yeah. All right.
The judge will be all. And the score. Oh, wait. We're announcing? Oh, wrong card. Wait a minute. The scores? The fuck? I play.
Let's hope none of that shit happens. Or Turkey in the fucking corner, to Shiraz, like Shiraz, you're 3 rounds ahead. What the fuck? Just backpedal the whole time. Like how the fuck do you know Turkey? The hell? Oh my. But all right. Anything else we want to add to that one before we move on to the next sort of kind of fight announcement?
Nope.
Alrighty. So again, another one that isn't officially signed, but earlier in the week, back on Sunday, I think we were talking about Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s manager with his cryptic social media post saying, "Don't give up or never give up" or something like that. I forgot what the hell it was, and then hashtag boxing, which immediately sent ripples around her. Like, whoa, 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 what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Well, reports, according to what I'm reading here, Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. are in negotiations for an April bout in Las Vegas, reports Ring Magazine. The fight could be finalized as early as this week. Now, mind you, this I think came up yesterday, so we're talking Tuesday. We're recording this on Wednesday. There's only a few days left in the week, so we're probably going to have to hear something in the near future. But even if we don't, looking at it for April, that's still plenty of time for them to start getting ready and fight camp and everything like that, right? But when I see this and I'm like, okay, cool, and then it says, they're in negotiations. Like, all right, so are we at the beginning of the negotiations? Because that's where the fuck we were earlier in the year, for fuck's sake. So it's not like we've moved forward any. Maybe we've circled back to it and now we're trying to get it started again. Okay, cool. Maybe that's some sort of progress. But if we're gonna get stuck in the same parts that we got stuck in last time, then I'm not sure how much further we're gonna move forward here. But all right, so now there's talks again. Again, we have this battered wife syndrome. It's like, here we go again. It's like let's pull them. They're gonna pull me back in, and we're gonna start listening to all the stuff of the negotiation process and everything like that. Hopefully, this isn't just a dick tease, so to speak, and we actually get the fight that we want in April. Because right now, the first quarter of 2026 is pretty killer as far as the fights that are happening. Another one I'm going to throw up here that's not that big of a fight, but I'll toss it in a little bit later on. Okay. Andrew, we talked about it earlier in the week. Rick Meridian saying, his cryptic, social media post that kind of sort of led us to believe that maybe they were getting closer to a finalization of this fight here. What do you think? We're gonna get it done? Do you think we're any closer than we were earlier in the year?
I think we're gonna get. How do you say his name? The manager?
Meridian. Rick
Meridian.
Yeah.
Versus De La Hoya in a California courthouse before we get Ennis versus Boots. I hope not, but that's where my money's leaning right now. As one Oscar De La Hoya decided to sue his business partner. I don't know what is it. What is the manager to Oscar? What are they, co-partners?
I don't think is he. I don't think he's anything. I think they're like both a representative of his fighter.
Yeah, but they both have the same interest in a guy, right? So they got to be some kind of doing business together. They're talking, right? Well, at least they're supposed to be talking. I don't know if these two are really talking anymore. Miguel, I can't see how these guys are in the same room. So how's negotiating getting done?
You talking about this time or just in general? Like, has Rick Meridian popped his head up at a certain time in a past fight where Oscar's like, "Yo, back the fuck off"?
No, Oscar put a lawsuit out on him yesterday.
No, right, yeah. I have that.
I can't see how they're meeting up with DAZN to go through negotiating for Ennis with a lawsuit being involved with them two now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would think that this is clearly a fucking line in the sand again. You know what I mean? Like, Oscar has on there that he's stepping over his boundaries. He's bringing down his promotion. He's putting them in there as he's working for another. He's giving what is it? Not giving not advice. What is it? Like the rules that they're setting in their contract, he's giving to another promotional company. He's telling Zuffa what they're doing on theirs and buying closed doors with them. You didn't hear about that?
I did, but what does he gain by that? Like, what is gained by him talking to Zuffa about the negotiations that they got, or whatever it is they're negotiating with?
Zuffa can give him a bunch of broken promises of what they could do better. Then he's running back to Virgil and going, "Oh, well, look at what I'm getting told." just throwing a wrench into shit. Like, you shouldn't be talking to anybody.
All
No
right.
company
Let
wants
me.
someone giving any kind of fucking secrets to another company. Zuffa's another company.
I found a post here. Let me read it here real quick. According to the lawsuit, or at least Oscar, unfortunately, Meridian has embarked on a campaign of self-promotion in an effort to ingratiate, if that's the word, himself with the newest player in the boxing world, Dana White and Zuffa. This is, oh yeah, this is, I guess, his lawyer said this. In a transparent effort to curry favor. Okay, this terms I'm not familiar with Zuffa. Okay, to guess get on Zuffa's good side.
Of course.
Meridian has deliberately and willfully interfered with Golden Boy's contract for his own personal interest. He is acting for himself only. Meridian and De La Hoya declined to respond to the lawsuit in an interview request from Boxing Scene. So Boxing Scene reached out to him, said, "Hey, let's go ahead and get an interview going so we can clear the air." And they're like, "Yeah, no, not right now. Probably a lot of talk to talk about before they even start giving interviews." I'm sure that somebody's going to ask them that question at some point here in the near future. But yeah, it looks like. Let me just pull it up here real quick to figure out. Golden Boy lawsuit files California by lead attorney Ricardo Sestero, if that's how it is. The promoter claims Meridian is interrupting. Oh, fuck. Reject all. I got the damn ad come up. Interrupting efforts in the most successful of his 26 fighters in order to get on Zuffa's good side, of course. But what was it? $10 million. Hold on. Where's it at? I thought I saw it in here. It's a $10 million, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, here we go. Seeking more than $10 million in damages from Rick Meridian. Holy shit. All right. So not just 10 million, it's like minimum 10 mil for sticking his nose in this shit. So you're saying we're going to get the fight signed, but it's going to be Oscar and Meridian. It ain't going to be Boots and fucking Virgil.
And I like how Meridian came out right away and was like, "I'm undefeated in the courthouse." He's playing in Oscar's backyard on this one, though. Oscar made that lawsuit in California. Oscar's pretty powerful in California, so I wouldn't be so confident going in with your undefeated court record. And maybe he wins. I'm just saying the cards are stacked against him on this one because Oscar, he has been a very big power figure for California for a while. Politically, showing up, shaking hands, having that Oscar De La Hoya Colgate smile, right? You know how many guys just wanted him in the room back in the days where I'm telling you right now, it was California, Los Angeles, some of their big investors that saved Golden Boy Promotions when Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer were trying to take that behind his back. They were the ones that sat Oscar down. He's drug addict. He's got problems, all that. They still sat him down and said, "Bro, they're trying to take your company. You got to get rid of them." Right? That's how much they like him over there. So, and all he's done is make more money for them probably since that time. So, be very, very, very cautious when you go up against Oscar in his own courthouse.
Damn, yeah, it's a very good point. I didn't even really think about that because it didn't even occur to me. I'm thinking, oh shit, you know what? If Oscar's domain is in the ring, then the manager's domain will be outside of the ring, right? I guess he would have the home court, but really the fact that he filed it in Los Angeles, I mean, that's we said earlier, a power move, right? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get these guys behind me and make sure that we get this done. Hopefully, it doesn't get to that point, but maybe.
No, it's good.
Oh, it should.
Good. Yeah. If he really did that, if he has proof that he was taking negotiation things over to Zuffa and talking about that, he should be fined or get the lawsuit should be granted to Oscar. If he was ruining Oscar's name and the lawyers are able to prove that he has docked Oscar's money because of coming out with these stupid ass reels that he's putting out and people are believing it. If they have evidence the same, because look, like the very beginning, you guys, it's not a bad thing that Oscar was trying for a bigger contract. You just wanted to give in at 40. Oscar's trying to get his guy 55, right? Because wasn't it 45 and then the winner takes another percentage?
Something like that, yeah.
Right? He was trying to get his guy to better contract. We're supposed to be like, yeah, Oscar, you don't want that fight. You don't want that fight.
Right.
He's trying to get his guy to better contract. Like I said, let the courts figure it out. Let them figure. But if they have proof that the dude's being overplaying his role, well, so be it. We've seen these guys videotape their demise before. That's what's bad about social media. Well, maybe that shit got to Meridian's head too, and he started posting a little bit too much, and now it got him a lawsuit.
All right. So hopefully we get a win out of that fight. Hopefully we get this other fight signed, right? We get.
Yeah, I would like it signed. Yes.
That would be pretty badass to get that fight crack-a-lacking for, if they can get it by April, cool. I mean, maybe late April, something like that, right? That gives them plenty of time to get this shit settled before the fight itself actually gets signed.
I can tell you right now, what we got to watch out for is to see if Chris Maddox, Andre Ward, and all of them start turning on De La Hoya and start saying how, this is just wrong. This is just wrong. Suleiman, Hoya, all these guys are not about the big future picture.
Mm-hmm.
Tread lightly. Watch who you interview with. That's all I'm telling you guys.
Yeah, take a book out of, or take a page out of Meridian and De La Hoya's book. When they asked them for interviews, the boxing scene asked them, they're like, nope, not right now. Let's go ahead and wait on that. All right. So earlier in the week, we were talking about Fundora and Thurman and the press conference that they held earlier in the week, and us not knowing that what other fights are going to be announced for that particular card. We are. I think it's going to be, the 28th of March. So a little, 6 weeks away, I guess we can say, from that. And we kind of need to have an undercard already in place. Well, we got one fight that's going to be on the undercard. Richard Torres Jr., but Richard Torres, we just call him Richard Torres, taking on Frank Sanchez, another, and Torres I'm talking about, another American/Mexican/American, I guess hopeful in the heavyweight division. Maybe we need to adopt them. Fuck it. Let's just. I'm saying like United States. Like, come on now. We're pretty bad territory. And look,
no, we're definitely adopting him, bro. What the hell?
I mean, he got a medal for the U.S.
Yes,
so that's got to count, right? We got to use them here. Maybe we can, adopt Benavidez later on if he gets the heavyweight or something. But right now, the gold or the silver medalist in Richard Torres. For the United States, because the heavyweight division for the U.S. has been crap. Quite frankly, heavyweight division, even in the UFC, there's even. Isn't this crazy? There's even an argument can be made that the UFC should just scrap the heavyweight division because these most recent heavyweight fights were shit, and the weight class sucks, and they lost Ngannou, right? They couldn't get that motherfucker signed, so they have to fork up some money to bring that motherfucker back, and John Jones ain't coming back. Who the hell knows? Right now, the heavyweight division in the the UFC blows big time, so much so that there's people saying they should probably just get rid of it. Well, it's not just there, it's here in the US as well, and hopefully we can get Richard Torres on that platform, and as the next great American heavyweight that he's going to take Frank Sanchez on, which I think only has one loss, I believe, and I think that one loss damn it, I forgot who it was against. But anyway, yeah, he's only got one loss. But regardless, all right. So now we have another fight that is scheduled for the undercard of Fundora and Thurman. I'm sure there's plenty more announcements to be done to take place here shortly, so we can at least know who's going to be on the undercard between now and the fight time. But all right. Andrew, it's a good fight, right? Should this fight be should it land on maybe the pay-per-view opener, or is it good enough for it to be like a co-main event?
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one. I think just being on a pay-per-view card is a step up for Torres. I don't know if he's the co-main event yet. Don't know if he has enough fan base for that. But being on a pay-per-view card is excellent. This fight is scary. I don't know if I really like this matchup. Torres is still very young in the game, where Sanchez, while he's a veteran, is very tricky. He's a very tricky boxer, Cuban boxer. Knows how to slow down a fight. He knows how to make it boring in there. It's I hope I want Torres to win, but that's a tough matchup, I think, at this point in Torres' career. I would have liked to see him step out because to me, this is his first big fight stepping out here. right? He's going up against a guy who was a world challenger, a world champion challenger at some point. So because he never won the title, correct? He only fought for it.
Frank Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I just pulled him up here real quick. He's got like the one of the other belts that we don't like, the WBC Continental bullshit. But those are the only other ones that he's ever had. But yeah,
yeah. So he's never been. Yeah, so
never
he's
been
never
like
been fought
actual
for a
legit
title.
champion. Right.
Yeah. So, but it is a step up because we've seen him around, right? We
Mhm.
know Sanchez's name. So yeah, I like the fight. Torres, it's a good first win if he gets there. This will be the beginning of something if he passes this one. So yeah, it's a good fight.
Yeah, especially if it's in impressive fashion. Because if you look at, I'm gonna try to pull him up here real quick because I forget what his record is. But Richard Torres, for the most part, like most of his fights end in a fucking KO. You know what I'm saying? And like
Right.
the
But Miguel,
competition.
big time tomato cans right now,
No,
though.
that's what I'm saying. But like,
Yeah.
I want to see it, how often he's gone the distance. Because I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that if he does that with somebody like Frank Sanchez, that'd be pretty fucking impressive if he can do that, right? Let me
Yep.
see here. He went against Guido Vianello back in April of 2025. Went the decision. Yeah, I think the only one. Yeah, on his record, there's only one fighter that went the full distance, and he won by unanimous decision. But then his very next fight, he fucking knocks out the next tomato can. So in Spanish, we call them maletas, which is kind of like luggage, just a luggage, right? Like, yeah, pinche maleta. That's all it is, right? So it's just tomato cans, right? That's what the guys
It
are.
is.
But if he can come across, I mean, if he can come into this fight and win it the way he's won some of his other ones in impressive fashion, holy shit, that's a big win over somebody like Sanchez. I would say is probably unlikely to happen because Sanchez is tricky, man. He's fucking clever, and he's got a style that is going to make it a little bit difficult for Torres to try to land those shots. A very intriguing fight. I think considering Frank Sanchez kind of tends to make his fights boring, like you said. I think it'd be cool as like a pay-per-view opener, probably not the co-main event, because
Yeah.
if we're gonna get to what could be a great slugfest with Fundora and Thurman afterwards, I don't want the crowd to be fucking asleep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping maybe they can put this one as the pay-per-view opener or something like that, right? Some heavyweights, maybe not so much the co-main event, but intriguing fight nonetheless. I'm totally down, and I'm down to catch it in 6 weeks away, roughly.
He's got to have a lot of more movement than he usually shows in the ring. See, this is why it's bad to go from the showcase fights directly into a fight with the tricky boxer. He's gonna have to fight a style that he really hasn't shown us yet. So maybe that's gonna be a new side that he shows. But I don't think he's gonna be able just to stand in front of Sanchez like he's done a lot of his other opponents because he's fighting guys out of his class. Sanchez is gonna land his shots too. If he hurts Torres early, Torres might shell up because he's inexperienced, right? Doesn't know how to get in, doesn't know how to get that angle. Sanchez is beating him to the punch every time because he's older, he's wiser. It's a scary fight. I don't like the matchup. Great win if he gets it, but if I see my guy get outpointed 11-1 and be like, why'd they fucking do this so early? How do you go from Guido to fucking Frank Sanchez, bro? You know what I mean? Like, unless Torres was in there like, no, I want it now or I'm going to Riyadh. Bob, they did it to Anderson, right?
I was just gonna say that. Fuck, I was just gonna say that. Threw him in there against Martin Bacoli and against Bob Arum's wishes, really, because that's what they're saying, right? So maybe this was the same. Maybe maybe Bob Arum was in a pickle. He's like, look, I can't get you guys on television. Okay, fine, but it's a risk. Go out there, but it's a risk, just so you know. It's like, fuck it, I'll take the risk. I'll go ahead and be on a pay-per-view card, get paid more money, because at this point, Top Rank is kind of in this weird pickle, right? Limbo, I mean, but it could be that. It could be that it's just like, Bob really doesn't want to put them in there, not yet at least, and against his wishes, Torres is there.
And he has no guaranteed money, right? Because ESPN was at least giving them some kind of guaranteed money, then he could pay these guys for showcase fights. Because to be honest, that's what ESPN turned into. It was a show. It was very much a farming system for Top Rank. All these guys were very young coming up on ESPN. So yeah, they don't have that 10 million or whatever dollars that ESPN was giving them per year to put on the fights. So you're right. He had to go out there and make his own money now. But when you do that, now you're fighting someone way different class.
Yeah.
14 fights going up against Sanchez because
Uh,
we've seen 14 fights for Torres.
yeah.
We've seen some of his guys, man. They were big. These dudes were off of couches, bro. You know, it was like, come on, man. Some of his knockout wins were. It was very Deontay Wilder-ish.
Hmm.
He just didn't have the WBC belt while he was doing
Right.
it. The
He didn't
fuck,
have however many
Deontay.
title defenses. You know, they found some fucking hot dog vendor guy and it's like, all right, go ahead. Want to come in here? Is it for a belt? We'll give you this fake plastic belt, sure.
They made a lot of money off Deontay's sanctioning fees, huh?
I'm sure they
Damn,
did.
man.
However many title defenses that was. Yep.
Yep.
The Sanchez, I was looking at his record, 27 victories, right? One loss, one no contest, 18 wins by or I'm sorry, 27 fights. His record is 25 wins. Of those wins, 18 are by knockout. He has more fights by knockout than Torres has total fights, period. That's wow. That's
Yeah.
quite the jump in the competition, right? That's a big leap. And with 18 KOs, Sanchez might have the power to hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Especially because Torres has by and large been fed these tomato cans. He kind of doesn't have fear of getting hit. And he's, had a couple of cuts, probably like I think it was like one was a headbutt, but he tends to come in a little wild, and if Sanchez can catch him coming in with 18 knockouts, that can be pretty dangerous.
Yep.
Oh man. Looking forward to that one though. I'm down. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, all right!" And on the Crawford, or not Crawford, sorry, Thurman and Fundora undercard, I'm down for that. Okay, another one of these fight announcements, kind of, sort of, but not really. This one I left to like the last one because number one, it's not official by any stretch, but there are reports that one Errol Spence Jr. is going to make his return to the boxing ring later this summer against Tim Tszyu. All right. Now, Tim Tszyu is kind of. Oh, and when I heard the announcement, it was Mike Coppinger with Max. I forget the name of that show that they're on, the Ring Magazine YouTube channel, and he says this is a bit of a crossroads fight, probably for both of them, quite frankly, but Tim Tszyu in particular, of course. It sounded as though Tim Tszyu is going to have one more fight before he fights Spence, although I don't know if Spence is going to have a fight, kind of like a warm-up or tune-up or get back in the ring, shake off some of the ring rust before they throw him in there with Spence or with Tszyu. I don't know. This one, when I remember when Fundora defended one of his belts, I want to say it might have been the rematch with, or the first fight with Tim Tszyu, or the rematch. But anyway, Spence comes into the ring and they kind of like stand next to one another, right? And it sort of seems like we're gonna get what's his name, Fundora and fucking Spence, and then that goes to shit. It seems as though one of the sanctioning bodies didn't want to sanction the fight because of Spence's condition and being out of the ring for as long as he was, and now boom, here he is against Tim Tszyu, no belts on the line or anything like that. I don't believe they mentioned where the fight could take place. I kind of pulled it up here real quick. It says, oh yeah, from the inside a ring show. That's what it's called. Let's see here. Errol Spence will return to the ring versus Tim Tszyu this summer. Sources have told Mike Coppinger. Spence hasn't fought since his July 2023 loss to Terence Crawford. Tim Tszyu will first take a tune-up fight in Australia prior to their bout. Coppinger has revealed, revealed on inside the ring. That's the name of the show. So okay, so. Tim Tszyu's got one fight that he's going to take as a tune-up. It looks like Spence won't. He'll go directly to that in later this summer. All right. Good fight for probably Tszyu. Maybe not so much for Spence. Now, you've talked about this before. Spence did look kind of different, in some of his recent TV appearances. He looked a lot clearer, at least not as glossy-eyed. So maybe there's some sort of something, right? The time away has helped him heal to a certain degree. But of course, ring rust is going to play a factor here. What do you think about this fight first and foremost, and how do you see it playing out?
I have Spence knocking out Tszyu probably in the late rounds 8 through 10.
Whoa.
Maybe.
You're gonna piss off our buddy Sam Navajero. Go ahead.
I lost all confidence in Tszyu's skills, man. Come on, he's the cat's out of the bag with that young man, and Errol Spence, while he's been away from the sport, was still one of the best American boxers at one time. I believe those same skills will show up on that night. Zoo will last because of the ring rust, but he will not last the fight. So I take Spence in the late rounds, and that will not change. I
No,
have I have seen enough of Zoo to know that he's very one dimensional. He doesn't move his head. He tries to walk through everything. He's got this like he's way too stuck on like I'm gonna beat my dad's image just by fucking being more of a man. Because his dad did kind of have that kind of man mentality too. He just was a Olympian, a Russian boxer, way more pedigree, knew how to play it better, right? Where Zoo's kind of just like Terminator, but he's not Terminator and ends up losing by the very end. Or now he's starting to lose because obviously they picked up his opposition. When you're fighting the showcases, he probably looks great. That's all working. Everyone's like, yeah, he's just like his dad. They picked up opposition. He's looking up at the lights now. I see Spence doing the same.
Yeah. Damn. All right. I kind of didn't see that one. I didn't see that one going in that direction. I thought maybe, Spence isn't the same, especially with the time away from the ring, and Tim Tszyu is going to have some sort of tune-up or preparation fight also. So he's going to stay active, and he's going to stay in rhythm, I guess.
Very true.
I would have liked for Spence to at least have some sort of comeback fight before then, right? I mean, shake off a little bit of the ring rust, put in it against somebody who's maybe not as dangerous. I don't know, somebody, not somebody who's like a heavy hitter or anything like that, but somebody who's going to be able to give him rounds so he can kind of shake off some of that ring rust. But nothing was reported as far as like Coppinger is saying. So it seems as though he's going to continue to take time off until the summer to a showdown with Tszyu.
Maybe Zoo can take my words and put it on his wall as motivation, but he is the ring rust. He's the one that Spence is dusting off with, bro.
Damn, yeah. He's gonna put it on the wall like in Rocky IV, right? That he's got the little newspaper cut out of like Drago, and he's just like, and he grabs it.
Just put Mad Boxing. Don't put my name. Yeah. Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, he can be reached at AndrewLabouche@gmail.com. No. But yeah. So that one, I'm a little on the fence about. I'm not too sure. I mean, what you said makes sense. Especially with Tim Tszyu's I don't know, insistence on trying to like show that he has a better chin than his pops. I don't know what the fuck it is, because he does that, right? And on top of what you mentioned as far as Kostya Tszyu goes, the pedigree. He had a better chin. He had a much better chin. And granted, we're talking about 140s, but even that knockout loss to fucking. Yeah, that was nasty. He had him up against the fucking ropes and still fucking, barely went down. So yeah, up against the ropes and everything. So that's a hell of a chin. I don't know. I kind of understand Tim Tszyu's perspective is trying to like, make his own name. And even before his losses came in the ring, post-fight interviews in the ring, he's like, what's my name? What's my motherfucking name? Right. It's like, all right. Want to make a name for yourself. And then he goes out and gets blasted and shows that his chin isn't like his pops.
Let me put it another way, you guys. If you only had one eye, who's the fighter you would want to fight that you knew when you swing you're gonna hit? I think that's how they picked him. They're like, bro, he doesn't move his head, bro. It doesn't matter if you can see him or not. Just throw in the middle.
Yeah. Or no, it's like, look, he never dips to the left. Your left eye is fucked up. He's always gonna be to the right. So just throw it to the right. You're always gonna catch him. He's always gonna fucking be there. And you just keep throwing and don't stop throwing until he goes down.
I'm playing. We're playing. I hope his eye is fine, but just saying, that guy don't move his head.
Right. And what you said is true. Like prior to that loss, prior to the car accident, prior to the loss to Crawford, he was a unified champ. He was whooping people's asses still. I mean, granted, maybe a product of PBC, but he still had a chin. He was still able to get out of the way of punches and stuff like that, right? And he was still an excellent boxer. I mean, went to the UK and took the belt from Cal Brooks, so that meant something. And like you mentioned, he's an American boxer, so. Let's see how it goes with Tszyu. They haven't mentioned, or they didn't specify where the fight might take place, but I'm assuming it might be here. Maybe they do it in Australia, and
I thought it was, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yes, I think they're trying to maximize that money. I want to say they thought. I want to say I read it. They're looking at Australia to put on this fight. Yep, they said something like it'd be the biggest fight in Australian history.
Oh,
Spence and him. Yeah, not too many big names that went out there. Spence pretty big. They'll bring up all those old title victories. PBC's kind of dominated out there with Zoo, so they probably have a lot of good networking out there. They'll put a lot of those highlights on, get this fight big.
All right, all right. Not pay-per-view worthy, right? No, not this.
I sure in the hell hope not, man.
These guys are still associated with PBC. PBC rarely does, regular Amazon Prime fucking fights. Everything is on. I mean, we're gonna get. I mean, this one I kind of understand. Thurman and Fundora pay-per-view, I get that. But PBC rarely does regular fucking Amazon Prime cards. It just seems like everything they do now is like strictly pay-per-view model. I don't see why they would do that. What they wouldn't do that with this one.
If it's a stacked card like PBC's been trying to do lately, maybe I'm in. Because I do like the main event. I like Spence getting his little comeback here. So we'll see. Because if Spence wins, I mean, what a division, right? I know it sucks. He gets one win. He's right back in the big fight picture. But if he can get back into the big fight picture, what a division we have at 154. No.
Yeah, very true. It shakes things up for sure, no doubt, right? Because I was writing the Tim Zoo hype train for a hot fucking minute. I thought after he beat Harrison, I was like, oh, this guy's the man. This guy's gonna do it. And then it just went downhill after that. But what a way to make an impact for Spence to come back, knock him out, and be like, yeah, I told you he wasn't shit. Like, who's next? Go ahead, yep. Fundora, Thurman. Did they ever fight at welterweight? No, right? Thurman and Spence.
No, it'll be Ortiz and Spence, bro. Dallas Stadium.
Yeah.
Dallas Stadium.
Yeah.
Right? They've been fucking
what
craving.
What Meridian has been saying for the longest fucking time.
Yep.
I'll be damned. All right. Okay, so this next one here, it's kind of like a two-part story. It has to do with Zuffa boxing, period, right? So one is Dana White. You sent me a video of him talking about a fighter, the current UFC featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovski. And I guess he was pressed somehow. The question had to do with money, the way he pays fighters. And he pulls up and he's like, yo, Volkanovski got paid more for just wearing his fight kit, which is the Venom kit that they wear, the suit. He got paid more walking to the fucking ring than Oscar De La Hoya did in his previous, and Oscar De La Hoya paid his full card. He said that's full card.
Yeah.
Now, this struck me as strange. I was like, what the fuck? I sent a Giphy or gift back to Andrew, like, oh, okay, well, one fucking time. Well, what do you fucking do, fool? One time. So I was like, let me take a look at this. Let's dig a little deeper on this.
Hey, but tell me, Miguel, that's kind of on Dana's side, right? Before we
yeah.
Like, hey, man, at least Dana snapped back finally. And then Miguel said, hold on.
Yeah. Which for a second I was like, hold on. Andrew, are you defending Dana here? Who are you? What have you done with Andrew? I'm gonna have to take off that mask. It's gonna be somebody else. It's gonna be fucking, I don't know, Chris Mannix and this bitch. Be like, what? I was just trying to defend you from boxing. I don't know what's going on. Because then I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, great, right? But Andrew, you were like, oh, it's about fucking time, yo. Like, show us, you're showing us the receipts here. Okay, it's about time we hear this kind of news from you and a talk from Dana. And I thought, well, what fight is he talking about? What card is he talking about? So I take a look at, I'm remembering, because I do have it jotted down on my calendar here, that the most recent Golden Boy card was the one that was supposed to have been main evented by Zurdo Ramirez. But his opponent got injured last November, so that fight got scrapped, and the main event ended up being, or was scheduled to be, Alexis Rocha and Curiel, right? That was supposed to be the rematch. Well, Rocha gets injured, so they bring in another opponent to fight Curiel, and we don't get the original main event. So it's like, well, fucking no shit. They got paid more than the damn card, because the main event, was original main event was supposed to have Zurdo Ramirez. I'm sure there's a mil or however much he's gonna get paid there, and then Alexis Rocha, he's out the fucking picture. So it's like, really, you chose that one, fool? Like, that's, granted, it was the only Golden Boy card, maybe the second Golden Boy card of 2026, but it's funny in that clip. Yeah, in that clip, he doesn't even mention which particular fight card we're talking about. We're just kind of connecting the dots because that was the most recent one from the time that the Golden Boy, having fights here in 2026. But I just thought that was like, you're gonna go that direction, Dana? Really? Fuck.
Hey, that's a bad one. It's almost like when the reporter called him out about the McGregor payout. Remember when he went, my guy made 100 million? She was like, well, that was in boxing, actually.
Yeah.
That's another moment for him where it's like, dude, you don't think people are gonna fact check your shit? You know what I mean? Like, hey, here I was already like, damn. I was over here thinking, oh fuck, these guys get paid that much to do that. Miguel, they didn't have a main event or a co-main event. You got that's like $1 million missing. Has to be close to $1 million. With Gilberto Ramirez making what he makes, and then Rocha coming in over 150,000, you would think for him alone. 750 for Richard. Come on. We're getting close. We're getting close. Yeah, that was a funny one. Dana, I tried, bro. I tried. Miguel cut your legs out this time. It wasn't me, man.
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind, the first question, I was like, well, what card is he talking about?
Yeah,
and then I pulled that up. I was like, hold, the front door, the one that we're supposed to have, sort of on. And for the record, the kit that Dana White is talking about, the fight kit, is from the brand Venom, which I predict they're going to probably move over to Zuffa Boxing at some point, but and have their wear the shorts. But anyway, back when Zuffa or the UFC at one point didn't have uniforms or anything like that, and they would have fighters wear their shorts and then have all their sponsors on here, and apparently some of the sponsors were like, they didn't pay the fighters for whatever the fuck reason. So then now the UFC had to charge them some sort of fee for them to even be allowed to be put on the fighters' fucking boxers on their trunks, on the fighters' trunks. So now the UFC would get a cut of whatever this sponsor was sponsoring their fighters, which sucks because some small time sponsors weren't able to fucking do that because they don't have the kind of money. And it was like something stupid, like an extra 10 grand or something that goes to, I forgot the exact amount, but there were a few zeros in there. But point is, the UFC is like, no, we're getting our cut, and then they try to use the excuse of, well, we just want to make sure the fighters get paid because it could be just some any random motherfucker putting their logo on the guy's shorts and not paying the guy. And then later on, this one fighter named Dennis Hallman wore like Speedos, and it just looked gay as fuck. And Dana White was like, we're never having this shit again.
I remember that.
For the record, yeah.
I didn't see it live, but I seen that reel before where they said the moment Dana. I have seen that Speedo thing.
And I think for the record, he lost the bet or something like that. And he I was like, all right, gotta wear this because that's what the bet said, right? It was something stupid like that. It was something very childish like that. But he did it, and he made the most of it. It was doing these like leg stretches and shit, and it was it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like kind of cringe. So then Dana moved to that direction where they're going to start using uniforms, and of course he throws in the NFL analogy of like, well, those guys aren't wearing shits and everything. But anyway, point is, when that happened, a lot of fighters left the UFC because they were going to lose money by not having their sponsors. Yes, their first deal, uniform deal, the UFC's first uniform deal was with Reebok, and they had some sort of pay scale where, like, depending on how many fights you have with the UFC, that kind of depends how much money you'll get from Reebok. But it was far less than what a lot of these fighters were making when they were getting their own sponsors on their own. And eventually it evolved to now Venom being the brand. So I don't know right offhand what the pay scale is for Venom, but they do give the fighters their fight kit, not just their fight shorts, but also like the shirt. And then the cornermen, I think they give them something like that. I forget the specifics. But anyway, point is, I don't know what the amount is for somebody like Alexander Volkanovski to make however much off of just wearing the kits. But if he's comparing it to that card, we can kind of surmise that it wasn't really that much. Maybe granted it was more than that specific Golden Boy card, but it probably wasn't that much.
Right.
But the reason I brought this up is just number one, that Dana crap, and then back to this belt thing that just keeps circling around. You know what I'm saying? You would think that from the outside it's from as much shit talk as fans do about these belts, that it wouldn't be that important. But here we go again. Let me go ahead and pull up this quick little post from Fight Club 24/7. That's the Facebook page. there's major confusion regarding or if Jai Opetaya's IBF cruiserweight belt will be on the line alongside the Ring Magazine and the Zuffa belt for his fight with recently announced Brandon Glanton. Now, prior to this, we heard that Jai was going to be unifying belts with the WBC champion, which is not this guy. It's somebody else. So Dana White here says Dana White never mentioned, it never confirms that the IBF belt is going to be on the line or not. But according to Dan Rafael, that somehow knows, I'm going to continue to read this here. It says, I'm not sure how exactly Dan knows, but Dan goes as far as to say Jai is still defending the IBF and Ring Magazine titles. Can't make other guys fight him, so no reason to sit around and not fight regarding the IBF rankings and the people who want to fight him. So he goes on to say, oh, and then somebody asked him a question on Twitter saying, an IBF, like, so it's for the IBF belt or is Jai relinquishing it? Is he letting go? And he goes to say, no, he didn't relinquish the belt. He's still the IBF champ. And it says the belt will be on the line even if Zuffa doesn't mention it. Okay, well, we've heard all the talk of Zuffa and not wanting to acknowledge the other sanctioning bodies or the sanctioning bodies, which is essentially what they're going to end up becoming the IC. But for all the smack talk, for all the crap they're talking about the belts, it seems like they can't get rid of the IBF belt. I mean, maybe if it does give it up, I don't know. But the point is, he's going to be defending it. In addition to the recent announcement of Dana White saying that this fight here with Jai and his opponent here, if I can get his name right, Brandon Glanton, is going to be also for the inaugural, if I can say that word right, cruiserweight Zuffa cruiserweight championship, pretty much Zuffa boxing, right? So Ring Magazine on the line, IBF belt on the line, the Zuffa belt on the line. It just seemed weird that Dan Rafael was like, no, yeah, they're not going to mention on the poster, but the belt is still on the line. Why do you think they're doing this, Andrew? Why? I mean, for all the smack talk that Zuffa's had about sanctioning body belts, they're just going to go along with it and be like, all right, cool, yeah, bring the IBF belt. Sure, what's up?
It's going to make for a better camera shot, right? I
right.
mean, Zuffa's finally got this. Oh, well, I guess the Zuffa belt won't be in the corner at that point. But one of their champions will have two other shiny belts. Hopefully he wins that night is what Zuffa is planning. I'll tell you why they didn't unify. There's no money in the pot. With them having to pay Opetaia so much over what he usually makes, how are you going to have any? So DAZN goes, look, we only get $150,000 off this kid, right? That's what we pay him. What's the other champion make? WBC champ. Because right now, you guys you're going to pay him what do we say? $300,000 for the current ranked fighters. Both of these guys are ranked that they're fighting for a belt. Sorry, they weren't unranked. Yeah.
Right.
Watch how fast they go, dude. All right, it's great that Paramount gave us money. I'm in the room. I'm a fly on the wall.
All right, you're in the boardroom here.
Yeah, I'm in the boardroom. It's great that Paramount gave us money and we paid both guys. But do you know how much we lost? Right? We're $600,000. We're already in the hole. Man, them ticket prices are going to be way more expensive in New Zealand than they've ever seen before. So that's why that main event didn't happen. In my mind, the WBC champ, he ain't fighting for no $300,000, right? Probably wanted more money to unify. Dana and them are like, we're not. There's no money. We're already overpaying. We're already overpaying. Eddie's laughing. Eddie's somewhere laughing. Fucking told you. So,
yeah.
So they made the decision. Fuck it. Both of these guys are gonna fight for our Zuffa title. We need to get this fucking ball rolling with this kid. We can't do this too many times, or we're just in the hole, in the hole, in the hole. When do we get out of it? That's when all the promoters will go, oh, you're getting boxing now. You're getting it. Oh, you're going to be in the red for a while.
Right. Like, Dana, you ever heard of purse bids? You want to toss this off to somebody else? Sure, you can do it. Sure, why not?
You better go back and start reading your Ring magazines again. You said you were a big boxing fan. You don't remember all the deductions, the debt that these promoters had building these guys? Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
No,
it's like, is this the amendment you want to do to the Ali Act? That's what you say you don't want to change, right? You say you're not changing anything. Well, this is one of the ways you can prove that you didn't change a fucking thing, homie. Is paying the fucking unification or whatever the hell you're gonna forking up the cash. In other words, I was reading part of this article here, and it says Dana White never mentioned it, and there's no confirmation of it anywhere in regards to like the IBF being belt being on the line. Bizarrely, the only person on the planet who seems to know is Dan Rafael. Kudos to him, but it's all very odd. Why on earth am I finding this out? Dan Rafael, not through Dan Rafael and not Dana White. Very strange of Zuffa.
And this is also the other thing that could have went wrong. The WBC champ did not want to sign with Zuffa. He doesn't want your 300 grand. He's in a big lotto, right? I don't want to just because I have to sign with you to make 300,000. I'll walk away. I might be going heavyweight soon. I don't want to fight with you, right? We don't know his plans. I'm just throwing shit at the wall, but I can guarantee you, some of the reason it didn't happen was because I'm not signing with Zuffa to make 300K, right? So Zuffa, so you either pay me 300K and we fight one time,
yeah,
or I walk. And they walked because they're not going to do. They're going to be too much in the hole. Right now, it's great. It's just like PPC. There's money in the bank, so everything's good right now. They'll write the checks. But what are these fights making? Remember how many times we've seen the PBC go on? There weren't no one in the crowd. There's nobody. Their pay-per-view rankings were all low. Or they were selling tickets for $20. They say, "Oh, it's sold out," but the live gate was 5 million. What?
Right.
It's the same thing so far. We'll see what happens, but I know it's one of those two stories. It's either there's so much in the red with the Opatai already, they can't get any more in the red with the other champ and expect to make any type of money off of this fight, or the WBC champ said, "I'm not signing with Zuffa, but you can pay me the 300,000." And Zuffa was like, "No, we're not doing that every time."
Yeah.
Opatai, fuck! Why did we sign him?
Yeah, right. I'm sure that's exactly what went through Zuffa's mind. Like their fucking heads, like, we got to change this. Yeah, I know you're going to change it because you're going to come across this quite regularly. And this is with just a cruiserweights who are well, I mean, all respect to them, are fucking no names. Wait till you get some guys that have names, then it's going to be even worse.
Just wait until they're on social media talking about you.
Yeah.
Dana's not really used to that either, right? I haven't seen the UFC hasn't went as viral as boxing can make you, right? Let these guys turn on you and let's see what happens. Oh my God, it's going to be a shit show over there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Miguel, I wish boxers would tone back. Like all these gangs that are forming in the boxing world, where all these guys are like, and I don't want to mean gang like gang members out there throwing up signs, but like little crews.
Yeah, little cliques, little cliques.
Yes, the whole little we ain't fighting, we're gonna take over together. Didn't we get over that with the PBC? Now it seems like we're doing it again with Davis and Haney. Haney said something about, "Oh, he ain't better than us." Who's us, dude? It's you, bro. Are you literally talking like, which I'm cool with if you're talking about us American boxers, it's sort of cool. You got to say it like that though. Don't make it like that's your team. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like we just got over that with the PBC. That's why there was a lot of decisions, you guys. I used to say, me and Miguel Lee, we used to talk about decisions, draws all the time in the PBC because these guys are fucking friends.
Yeah, they would like go to fights and sit next to one another.
Yeah,
like the only thing I didn't see was like one reaching in the other guy's popcorn box and shit, because that was next. I guess that could have been next at this point, but maybe the camera turned away. I don't know.
Exactly. No, I back in the day, you have respect for the men in the sport. But we're not. We're not. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard had fights together, fucking taking selfies or pictures.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Tommy Hearns and all these guys. I mean, Tommy and Sugar Ray seem like they still get at each other when they're hella old, and Tommy's like, "I whooped his ass."
Yeah.
Sugar Ray's like, "He's still mad. He's still mad."
Yeah. Oh man. So I guess we can take a quick look at Ajayo Pataya's opponent. Brandon Glanton, 21-3. All right, 18 KOs. All right. Um, again against who? Not he's got a couple. One name popped up here. Chris Billum Smith, which he lost to by decision. He beat Marcus Brown. That name sounds familiar. Again, the cruiserweight from
Definitely.
what I'm familiar with. But all right, the only losses that he has are by decision, I believe. None have been by KO.
Marcus Brown was the top rank fighter.
Mm.
Yeah, he also had a good fight with the dude from Mayweather's guy, BJ Badu Jack.
Oh, Badu Jack.
I believe him and Marcus Brown had that bloody fight. Remember the one where he was Badu Jack's wiping his blood on the refs?
On Tony Weeks' shirts and shit.
Yeah, I think that's Marcus Brown. Yep, that's him. So it is a name. I mean, he did beat a decent name there. Or did he lose? Did he beat him or lose?
No, he beat him. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's all right.
And
I better watch out.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could be the monkey wrench. It could be the spoiler for this one here, but it looks like that's what's going to be his opponent. And I believe they announced it for March. What is it? March 8th. It's literally the day after the UFC card. There's going to be a UFC card that Saturday, the first Saturday of March, and then the next day, Sunday, is when this fight is supposed to take place. So it looks like they're going to have some sort of kind of like the Ring Magazine used to write what they did recently with some of their like 2 or 3 card kind of things, night cards. So it looks like we're going to get a UFC card on Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to get this particular fight.
Nice.
So I did notice something when I was looking at some of the stuff here. I found it. I'll grab it. Just as I say that, my damn camera loses focus. But we've talked about it for a while, right? Zuffa and Zuffa Boxing and their new weight classes. All right, I finally found them. I finally got some more info.
Right.
Basically, bantamweight, 118 pounds, is the lightest weight class they have. Nothing below that. No flyweight or super flyweight or mini flyweight or minimum, whatever. What's the next one above that one? Featherweight, 126.
Ooh.
So we go from 118 to 126.
Wow.
The next one is lightweight, 135. So totally skips 130, right? Then welterweight, 147 after lightweight. Middleweight, 160. So no 154 pounders. All right. Then light heavyweight, 175. So no super middleweights. Then above that, to cruiserweight, which that's kind of the weight is already. Cruiserweight, 200 pounds limit, and then 200 pounds and above is heavyweight. So I understand the reason they're going this direction, or at least what I think is the reason. They're just in boxing. There's just a fuck ton of weight classes, quite frankly, and some of them with as little as 3 pounds in between, right? So it seems a little excessive. For my tastes, MMA is the complete opposite. There are far too few weight classes. There was a dude who literally ate shit and face planted on stage on a recent UFC card where he fucking fainted while hopping on the scale because of how much weight he cut. There's a lot of guys that are not going to fit into these weight classes, and there has to be in-betweens. I think MMA and UFC in particular is at a point in the sport where we need more weight classes. I do the same shit you do all the fucking time. MMA needs more weight classes, right? So I think they're the opposite. I think it's like they need more because there's just too many. I mean, too few. There's too much of a gap in between. It seems as though that's the direction they're going here. But again, are we in the same spot? It seems like from 135 lightweight to welterweight, 147 is 12 fucking pounds. That's kind of a lot, yo. You know what I'm saying? 147 to middleweight, 160, 13 pounds. That's a lot, man. And this is the way it is with MMA. 125 is flyweights, 135 is bantamweights, 145, 10-pound differences between middleweight and welterweight is 15-pound differences. So I'm not sure if I like this. I get what they're trying to do and reduce the number of weight classes, and it seems as though they're not going to be going any lower than bantamweight, which kind of now makes me think might be why in addition to money, why Bam Rodriguez didn't sign with these motherfuckers, right? Because like, yo, you want me to go up to bantamweight right now? Like, yo, let me finish off my business here at super flyweight. But anyway, What do you think about these weight classes? Is there too much gap, or where am I tripping?
Oh, well, not only that, then they only have one division for Bam Bam because
Oh
he's definitely
yeah,
not going to featherweight after that, right? So they only,
damn. Yeah,
yeah,
true.
yeah. And here's another bad the thing that I don't like about this. So you're going to take 20 guys and only take the best 10, even though boxing had them as two weight divisions, 10 guys each.
Oh, I
I
see what
mean,
you mean.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you're taking money away from our sport because you're telling 10 guys you're no longer top 10.
yeah,
It doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. You're dropping four divisions, so you're going to make. I know they won't, but it's like you're asking four divisions to go to one from minium weights all the way to bantamweight. You said
yeah.
right?
118 bantamweight. Yeah.
One, two, three, four. That's five divisions, bro. They're going to try to make one division now. Where are all these guys going? So you know what you know what we're gonna start seeing? Bunch of guys going, I should get a fight, Dana. Hey, Dana, when we're going to fight, Dana, right? This is what they always do over there because there's not a lot of slots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like I don't like it either. When I saw that, I was like, "Nah, I'm not digging that." I mean, there's not everybody's gonna fall into that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They can't get a I don't know, like a super welterweight right at 154 and be like, all right, either you go up 6 pounds or you drop 7 or whatever the hell it is from that to welter. It's like, yo, what do you mean? I'm 27, I'm growing. I don't know if I can add 6 more pounds to this right now. Like this is perfect, and this is when they add more weight classes, I like I said in MMA, it makes sense because there are too few of them and they're far too few, and there's too much of a gap in between. This one doesn't look that bad if they just recalibrate them. Like you can just have there's no supers and middle or super lights or whatever the hell, right? Juniors or all this stuff. You don't have to add those, but at least move them around. Have 7 pounds in between. Middleweight doesn't have to be 160. Middleweight can be 154. Fuck it. In the UFC, lightweight is considered 155 because that's how we have it. I'm saying we. I'm saying that, but you get my point. Like that it's like they recalibrate them. It's like fine. Or they name them something different, right? It's this not 135 as we're familiar with boxing. I wouldn't mind if they did that, but they're just taking whole weight classes away and forcing those guys to go up or down. It's going to deter a lot of guys from signing with them, and unless they're in a real like desperate situation where they're like, damn, I need a fight and these guys are willing to give me money if I move up from middleweight to, I can't make middleweight. I'm 164 pounds. I got to fight at 175. It's like, fuck, that's a pretty big jump, yo. I don't see a lot of guys agreeing to that unless, again, they're kind of desperate.
They have to be desperate because you're gaining weight that's unnecessary when you can go to the other side and still have the same weight divisions we've been doing for 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? Like, come on, why are we trying to change it up at this late in the game? I also think you're taking away money because there's more potential fights to be made with more guys in the top 10.
Yeah.
It don't try to fix what isn't broken. Boxing's not broken. We clearly see that. Is it the NFL? No, it's not. But we still have four guys in the top 50 and the richest athletes in the world. Dana White has none. Dana has built none. So, and I know Turkey doesn't care about that. I know that. Right now I'm talking to managers. I'm talking to promoters. I'm talking to the trainers that are mentoring these kids. Dana has none. If you really think you're the best in the world, why would you limit your money? Cap your money.
Mm-hmm. If they're working or trying to get the Ring Magazine champs, the active Ring Magazine champs, to come to Zuffa, because right now anybody who holds a Ring Magazine belt is universally recognized as the #1 guy in the weight class, which is what they're trying to do here, or what they did, I should say, with Jai Batai. But if they go and find a super flyweight Ring Magazine champ, what the fuck are they gonna do? They're really gonna force him to come up, really? Like, or 154? I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think anybody has the belt right now, but you get my point. It's like these guys are gonna, if they're trying to sign the Ring Magazine champs of these weight classes, is that going to be part of the deal? Like, all right, I'll go ahead and move up, but you're going to have to pay me more. Oh, I don't know. That's the deal. But I know that historically, the UFC is not very. They don't really like managers, like fight managers. They don't like them too much. Most likely because these guys try to fucking get more money.
I wanted to ask you that, bro. I'm sorry I had to cut you off.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you, dude. Because De La Hoya is saying that Virgil's guy's trying to get in. Does the UFC have managers? They're fighters?
Some do. Some do.
Okay.
But I think they're always butting heads with the UFC. I don't think all of the fighters have that. In fact, I'm fairly certain all of them don't. But and by all means, if I'm wrong, let me know. But I don't hear fight management too often, and I do hear fight teams. Like the manager has a team of fighters. Sometimes they're in different weight classes. Well, more often than not, they are in different weight classes. But I rarely see them make an appearance or say like, oh yeah, I'm his manager. Like I think there are some, I should say, and I think they butted heads with the UFC so much that there's like, we need to figure out a way to get rid of these motherfuckers because they don't want to pay the fighters anymore. So there are some right offhand. I don't know how many there are, but I know that the UFC's had problems with them.
They definitely are going to have problems with them, and they're going to have problems with them in boxing too, because in their pay scale, if you're not winning, you're not making a shit ton of money. You know what I mean? And the first thing you're going to do is cut extra weight. And who's that? The guy that, sets my appointments. He's the first guy who's going to get cut. It ain't going to be your cut man or your trainer. It's going to be the manager. Because in all honesty, the UFC is the manager. Zuffa at this point.
Right.
But you know what I mean? They're the ones that have this thing scheduled. They're the ones that tell you they even can send you to their gym to have physicals and everything, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like they are the manager. You don't need a manager when you're messing with these guys. And I mean, on their half, they don't. Why do they want someone in your ear saying you can make more money or let me go argue for you or let me, Yeah, no, I don't. So when Oscar said that, I'm like, one, Oscar might be wrong about that. I'm not saying he's right, but if he is right, what a dumb move by Michian, whatever the fuck his name is, because you're literally walking yourself right out of a job. That's like going, oh, this new AI thing's cool. I'm going to let it do all my work. The fuck? You're out of a job.
Right. It's like, how come I can't log in this morning? Oh yeah, because I got your job, homie. That's why. Hey, shit. How come my badge isn't working?
What the fuck, man? Yeah, I didn't think so. Thank you for answering that. That was one I forgot to ask you about, that manager situation, because that's immediately what I thought when Oscar threw that out there. Oh, he's just trying to get close with Zuffa. I'm like, why the fuck would Zuffa want this guy around there going on the internet, talking shit, saying what he wants to get for Virgil? That's the last guy Dana wants. And
yeah. But on the last note of Zuffa boxing, we have boxing on Sunday. Thankfully it doesn't land on Valentine's, but Effie Ajagba, right, fighting Charles Martin. That's going to be ZB or ZO3 on Sunday. No football, so by all means, if you guys are at home a little hungover from the drinking on Saturday night, by all means, tune in to Paramount Plus and catch them there.
The last great American hope. It's not the great white hope anymore, bro. It's the great American hope. Jeez almighty, we don't have one. Come on, Martin.
Pull off the upset, homie. Okay, so this one is literally very last minute. Andrew, this is going to be the last topic. I swear I'll let you go so you can go have dinner. But this last topic here is one that kind of, my buddy literally just sent it to me as we're recording the show. So I said, I gotta pull it up. Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Accurate pay-per-view sales have been confirmed by several reliable personal sources. Okay. It has been revealed that the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson has achieved a total of between 250,000 and 300,000 pay-per-view buys. They also indicated that without the free tickets distributed by Shakur Stevenson or Turki Al-Sheikh to ensure the fight sold out, the estimated pay-per-view buys would have been a flat 200,000. I'm not sure what that means.
I know
about tickets. But Teofimo Lopez is said to have earned $10 million from the fight, while Shakur reportedly made $8 million before taxes. So I'm assuming what they meant to say here is that even without not including the 300 tickets that Shakur Stevenson bought out of his own pocket for underprivileged children, and Turkey Al-Sheikh with however many people he comped, the card was still a sellout, or the Madison Square Garden was still a sellout. So ticket sales wise, sounds like it was very successful. 250 to 350K pay-per-view buys, shit, not even really like 500K. God damn it. I don't know. That seems like falling way below what I guess most of us had hoped, considering the significance of this fight here. Again, I know we generally know that Turkey Al-Sheikh doesn't get too fucks about pay-per-view buys necessarily, let alone in the US. So I don't know. Maybe he just didn't give two fucks about that. But all right, between 250 and 350.
What was the cost of the pay-per-view? Do we remember that? Was
Oh,
it 80, 50?
I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was $74.99.
Okay. So
Let me pull that up. Go ahead.
I'll do 74. That's fine. That's 22 million. That's 22 million. I don't know how the TV contract works, how who takes what out of that, but they only owed these guys you said 8 and 10, 18 million. Ooh, they barely. Ooh,
Yeah.
shit.
Let me recap that. I just pulled it up real quick. $69.99, so $70. Not that much of a difference, but $70.
Not that much of a difference, but it makes it maybe 20 million, right? You're gonna drop 2.2 to 20 million. 20 million. You had to pay a guaranteed of 18, or no, not guaranteed. They got 18 when it was all said and done. We got to see what subscriptions are, but yeah, it wasn't a home run, right? They might have gotten out making money because of subscriptions. That was all house money, you could say, at that, right? So that's really all they're working with there. Yeah, I thought at first 300,000 was a decent. I'm giving them the higher number. It's boxing. I always do it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, I always do it for us. No. So no,
250. No.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Dana, you gonna pay these fighters? You gonna pay did Alexander Volkanovski make $8 million fucking dollars for walking down to the ring? No.
Yeah, ask Shakur and Lopez if they give a damn about the fucking
the fight kits. Good lord.
All right. Yeah, that's it. That one hurts. That probably didn't make as much money as they wanted. Yeah, at some point they got to start turning. Now, see, I got to tell you, man, this is where DAZN needs to drop those numbers, Miguel. They need to go, look, hey, we had 300,000 buy it on pay-per-view, but we also had 40 million, 25 million watching. Remember, they have 60 million subscribers, right?
Yeah.
They have to give us the number of how many of those DAZN subscribers are watching the fight. That's what's going to make us say this was over the top, or if it wasn't. If they only go, hey, 1 million guys watched on DAZN subscriptions, you guys are so losing this to Netflix or Paramount. It's fucking out of here, because they're making great numbers over there.
Yeah, very true. And I didn't know this because of our secret contributor, that apparently DAZN was offering a bundle deal, as they have before, a 2-fight bundle deal for $110 or $109.99 for both this fight and Garcia Barrios. I didn't know that was even a thing. And when I pulled up the price for this one, I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not entirely sure if this includes that or not. Like, does the pay-per-view numbers for this, is it strictly just for Teofimo and Shakur, or does it also include this bundle here? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And does it include the subscriptions?
Oh yeah,
what if the 300,000? They're all just put those as pay-per-view buys. Wait a minute, only 300,000 watched this fight entirely. We're fucked.
Right. It's like, yeah, bring Teofimo back. Let him throw some of those racist remarks one more time. Let's see. Hopefully that gets us more eyes on here. Oh man. All right. Well, that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about. Andrew, was there anything else you wanted to throw in here before we call it a show?
Nope. I am good, bro.
All right. So that is going to do it. This as I mentioned, this Sunday, make sure to catch some boxing, some Zuffa on Paramount Plus, and enjoy whatever for what it's worth. The Zuffa boxing on that, and I'm sure we will be back on Sunday with our and chances are we might even record before the show, right? Because we like to do it. We like to record early in the day, so we're going to try to record before the Zuffa boxing card starts on Sunday because we're going to be talking about it on Wednesday. But until then, please have a fun and safe, I should say. And when I say safe, I mean rubbers. Valentine's Day. Make sure that you don't have children 9 months from now. Please, it's one of those times that happens. It's one of those trends that happens. So please be safe in every way, shape, or form this Valentine's Day weekend. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. For my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet. I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Miggs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Take care. Peace.